The shower beer I just had this morning hit like crack. Because news broke out this morning that Justin Fields wants to test the market. Just a few days ago, the Steelers wanted to re sign Justin Fields and that he was on top of their list of quarterbacks that they wanted to sign. Now Fields is going to go test the open market and see what his value is and probably go sign somewhere else. Now, there's speculation that it's about the money and that the Steelers are lowballing him, and if that's the case, then that's a bad look for the Steelers. But I don't believe it is about the money, because if it was about the money, like I said, it's a bad look for the Steelers. When the Steelers ultimately have $63 million in cap space to work with, that's a lot of money in the NFL to work with. So if it's about the money, that's a bad look for the Steelers. But I believe it's about him being guaranteed a starting spot, and for whatever reason, the Steelers are not going to guarantee him a starting spot for whatever reason. He led the Steelers to a 4-2 record. He had the hot hand, the offensive coordinator, and mostly the entire staff and some players in the locker room wanted Fields to start and be the quarterback moving forward. But Tomlin was a lone wolf. He was a solo dolo per se, and benched him to start Wilson because he wanted to see what Wilson had. Now, this sounds a lot like me when I play Warzone and I go run off on my own when my teammates tell me not to. When you have a coach on your own staff that wants Fields to be the starter and you don't listen to that, that's a huge problem to have in an organization. And for whatever reason, Tomlin loves his veterans. He held on to Ben for way too long, and for whatever reason, he kept Wilson in when he was on a cold streak going into the playoffs and ultimately had a 5-game losing streak. So I don't know what it is with Tomlin and his veterans. I don't know if he's getting good head from them or not, but for some odd reason, he really loves his veterans. Now, I believe Fields is a starting-worthy quarterback in the league. He views himself as a starting-worthy quarterback in the league. And I want the Steelers to re-sign him, but as days go on, I just don't think that's going to happen. I think he's as good as gone, and I think he's going to be going to the Jets, because he'll be guaranteed a starting spot there for sure. Now, the Steelers right now, they don't have a starting quarterback on the roster, which leads into my next point, wide receiver. Currently, the Steelers only have one good wide receiver on the roster, and that is George Pickens. Do I think they're going to make some big plays in the wide receiver market? Well, I would sure hope so. But right now, you don't have a quarterback. And no wide receiver wants to come to a team that they don't know what quarterback is going to throw them the ball. Now, just recently, DK Metcalf has requested a trade. He's a big-name wide receiver that the Steelers should be making calls about. I don't think the Steelers will get him, but they should be making calls to Seattle, trying to make something happen, but ultimately, I don't think anything will. There are a few named free agent wide receivers that are out there. Some notable ones are Tyler Lockett, Darius Slayton, Chris Godwin, and Devontae Adams, just to name a few. Sadly, though, I don't think any wide receiver is going to come here. Like I said previously, no wide receiver wants to come to a team when they don't know what quarterback is going to be throwing them the football. But only one sticks out. Only one. Devontae Adams. I think Adams is a more realistic signing right now out of all the signings, is because I think Tomlin already made up his mind on who he wants at quarterback, and that is Aaron fucking Rodgers. Now, I don't want Aaron Rodgers at all. I think a lot of Steelers fans don't want Aaron Rodgers. He is old. He should be going into the retirement home with Mike Tomlin. But I digress. I think Aaron Rodgers still thinks he has a lot in the tank when he really doesn't. And I think the Steelers and Mike Tomlin already made up the decision that they want to roll with Aaron Rodgers. Again, back to the veteran standpoint of why Mike Tomlin wants veterans. I don't know. Again, I think he just gets good head. I don't know what the deal is. Now, with him and Adams, I don't think it went all too well in New York, and I don't think it's going to be any better if they come to Pittsburgh. I think it will be actually much worse than it was in New York. Now, I don't know what's going behind closed doors. No one knows what's going on behind closed doors except for the organization itself. Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, and the man upstairs himself. So only time will tell to see what happens at wide receiver and at quarterback positions. Now, as far as the running back position goes for the Steelers, we have yet to tender Warren. even though Omar Khan has already stated that they plan on tendering Warren and they have yet to get that done. I don't know why they're waiting around, but they are, for whatever reason, waiting around for running back, quarterback, and wide receiver moves. Before you know it, we're going to be waiting for the breadcrumbs and picking up the scraps there. Now, as far as running back goes, Najee is as good as gone. I don't know where he's going to go, but I could see him going to the Chargers, Raiders, a team like that where they really need a running back. And I feel like he's going to perform better than what he did in Pittsburgh. And the Steelers are going to make a wrong move there, but that's a different story for a different day. So I don't know how they'll address this running back situation at all. They could go through the draft. They could go through free agency. Both the draft and free agency are loaded with running back. It's just only a matter of time, again, of what they'll do at the running back position. Now, I mentioned that the Steelers are waiting around. They're waiting around to make some moves at quarterback. They're waiting around to make some moves at wide receiver. Waiting around to make some moves at running back. If they keep waiting around to make some big moves, they're going to be sitting there and going after the scraps like they always do. Now, they have yet to make any big re-signings, let alone any big extensions this year. The only big move that they have made is restructure Cole Holcomb and saved about $4 million in cap space. Wow, that is a big move. A huge move, per se, right? That move is like me getting out of the bed in the morning. Nothing too flashy, right? So the Steelers can't be waiting around, especially when it comes to signings and extensions. And there's one name in particular when it comes to extensions, and that is TJ Watt. Now, recently, Max Crosby signed a 4-year, $98 million contract. He got the bread. He got the paper, per se, as you kids would say. And he deserved every penny of it. He did. He deserved it. He is a top 5, top 10 pass rusher in the league. So when pass rushers like Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett, and TJ Watt see a contract like that, they're going to want money just like that, if not more. So the Steelers shouldn't be waiting around to make an extension, especially to TJ Watt, and making re-signings. The Steelers need to be moving on their ass to make something happen, because right now you can't really do anything, especially at the wide receiver position, because you don't have a quarterback. So the Steelers shouldn't be waiting around anymore. They should be getting their ass working and go find the quarterback on who they want. And ultimately, I don't think the Steelers even have any idea on who they want at quarterback at all, because they have yet to make any signings. If they knew what they were going to do, they would have made a signing by now, and yet that they haven't, it's really concerning and kind of frustrating. I just wanted to come on here and get my frustrations off about the Steelers, and that Steelers shouldn't be waiting around anymore and start making moves. And if you're a Steelers fan, or a football fan for that matter, leave a comment down below what's your thoughts on this whole situation, this whole dysfunctional franchise, and let me know your thoughts on it. But I'm going to head on out of here, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. Drink plenty of water. Love you all. I'll see you all next time. Peace.